Hi, so I am Jo Fitzsimmons. I am the manager of Alumina Self-Harm Programme online, and this is my dog Zeus, who obviously delightfully wants to see you as well. One of the major issues we get asked about in terms of our support for young people with self-harming is around scarring. And obviously it's summertime, sitting outside, and scarring is a massive issue for young people who maybe have cut or have burns on them. Sometimes this can be from quite a long time ago and you're still very conscious of them, very aware of them. Sometimes it can be more recent scarring, and obviously the summer brings this to a light when people are wearing short sleeves. Swimming might be an issue, you might be going on holiday, going to a wedding, whatever. One of the major issues we get asked around scarring is covering up cuts. Very rarely young people have raised cuts, so quite white scarring. This is called keloid. It's most common in young people from Afro-Caribbean heritage, but occasionally it does happen for white people as well. Now, keloid is really hard to cover up. So keloid scarring is raised scarring. It might be whiter, but it's still very clear that it is scarring. One of the only things that is viable to cover keloid is Dermacol, which is kind of like a theatrical makeup, and it covers very thickly. It's like a foundation. There's plenty of colours. I think there's 27 different colours for skin types. So you should be able to find a skin type that matches you. I know it's available through Amazon, but it's probably available on other ones as well. So Dermacol, Dermocol, Dermacol, yeah. Skin camouflage makeup. So absolutely recommend that to you. In terms of covering burns, it would work very well as well. You don't need tons of it, but it is quite a thick kind of consistency. You obviously want to think about where you are putting it on your body. Make sure you're not allergic to it, obviously, first before you try it. Just try it in a very small area first, and see how it feels on your skin as well. Some people don't particularly like the feeling of it, and put a moisturiser on base first. Some people are absolutely fine with it and happy just to cover their scarring. So yeah, Dermacol is a good way forward. The British Red Cross, there's a great YouTube video on the British Red Cross. If you look up that skin camouflage, they do a couple of really good YouTube clips on showing a young lady putting on makeup to cover scarring. So I recommend that to you as well to look at. But I think the most important thing is about you being comfortable. So actually, if you aren't at the place where you even want to try covering up your scars through makeup, it's okay to wear long sleeves. It's okay to wear trousers in the summer. You don't have to be pressured into wearing anything or putting on anything if you don't want to. Some young people feel their scars are very much part of their story, and actually in covering that up, they're not telling the full story of who they are. I think if you're happy not to cover your scars, that is fantastic and is a real act of confidence, but people may ask. So think about being prepared about what you may say. If someone asks you something, you could just completely blank them, and that is fine. It's about you being in control of what you want to tell people. Maybe come up with some kind of funny, quite sarky response. That's okay. Maybe actually you want to tell the truth and say, this is my story and this is part of who I am. But I think in order to kind of be at that point, you need to be quite strong in yourself, quite strong in your recovery, and feeling very confident about who you are and what you want to say. So I think it's worth thinking about this time of year, how you want to manage scars, whether you want to cover them, whether you don't want to cover them. And obviously there's many different types of scars. So it could be scars on the tops of legs, it could be arms, face, it could be from hair pulling. You have gaps and actually want to wear a hat to cover those. There's lots of different ways that self-harming behaviour will affect your body and leave kind of part of your story there. So I really urge you over the summer to think about that, to look up the Red Cross stuff, to look up whether you want to cover your scars, and maybe even if you're thinking, I don't want to cover my scars, but I need to think about what I want to say to people, maybe take a few minutes to write down a few responses and see how that fits for you. See what you're happy to be able to share of your story, because it is a story and it is part of your journey. But it's part of your journey from a place of real difficulty and struggle, going through to a place of strength and finding out who you are, and learning new coping strategies. So it's not about being defeated, it is about overcoming it, and your scars will tell that story of real strength.